everybody, in today's video I'm going to show you how to play a guitar solo over pretty much any rock and roll song really quickly and easily using a couple tricks. So if that sounds good to you, remember to like this video and subscribe. I'll be posting new videos to YouTube every week, and here we go. First thing you need to know before you can start to play a solo is the key of the song. And in most rock songs, that is the first chord in a chord progression. So there are some exceptions, but if you 99% of the time in rock music, the first chord and then the resolving chord, which is usually the last chord or going back to the first chord, is going to be the key of the song. So I'll give you a couple examples. So let's say you're playing a song that starts with E. So that's an E, D, A chord transition, and it comes back to E to resolve it. So here, let's go again. So and we'll go through the chords. Now, if you leave it at the A, it sounds unresolved. Now we play the E again, and it kind of resolves the melody. So again, I'll play it. So the first chord in that song is in E, so that the key of that song is going to be in E. It's also kind of the last chord that resolves the melody. So 99% of the time when playing rock music, that is going to be enough. That's all you really need to know. Some songs will start off with the second chord of the chord progression, but once you hear the verse or chorus through, you'll be able to tell what the key is based on how the chord that kind of comes up the most, because it resolves the melody. So like in that previous example, the E came up kind of twice before the melody was resolved. So even if we had started on the D, you can kind of hear the E resolves it, and then as the song goes on, you're going to hear the E the most. So you're going to know that that song's in the key of E. But again, not a lot of songs start like that. Most rock songs start in the key that the song is in. So once you know the key of the song, there's basically one scale that you can play that sounds good in pretty much any rock song, and that's the minor pentatonic scale. And I know, like a lot of people, when you're first starting guitar, your scales seem scary, but really this one, and the way I'm going to show it to you, is super easy to remember. So what you want to do is you want to find your E positions on the guitar. So most solos are played high on the higher notes. So the E is going to be at the 12th fret. The root is going to be at the 12th fret of the bottom E string and the high E string. So your minor pentatonic in E is going to start with your index finger on the 12th fret. So the way the scale is played is you're going to be able to play the 12th note or the 12th fret on each string, going all the way up the neck. So, so those are all on the scale. So you don't have to move your fingers, move your hand into a different position to play actually a pretty interesting lead. And then the scale is really easy to remember. It's 12-15, 12-14, 12-14, 12-14, 12-15, 12-15. And so if you can, it really only takes a little while to memorize that. And once you've got that memorized, you can play that scale, and you can play different combinations of the notes. And really the tough thing is just figuring out the phrasing and practicing and working with songs that are in the key of E and practicing the phrasing that you want to use. Now, what I like about the E scale is that you can also play it instead of the 12th fret with the open position on all the strings. So, and it's basically the same scale, just moved down. So 0-3, 0-2, 0-2, 0-2, 0-3, 0-3. So the scale up here is, and up here is. And so when you're playing a lead, you can use just those two positions. You don't have to move your hands in between. That's more complicated. That can be something you practice and develop later. But you can even switch between these two positions. But you just stick within the scale and your lead's going to sound good. And so like at the lower position, one of the cool things you can do is you can bend on the 2nd fret of the G string, which always sounds good. So you can do something like that. Another thing like blues guys do is you'll go like 3 open on the high E string and do this, work your way down the scale. So and so you can do a lot of kind of interesting things in this position. What I like, if you're just going to switch between these two positions, what I like to do is use that as kind of like a counter to the higher notes. So I might start off in the higher notes, and once you kind of run out of things to do down here, you can switch to the lower position for a few measures and just kind of mix it up a little bit. So again, like you can do ascending patterns up here. You can do descending patterns. Another common thing you can do is like Chuck Berry style bends. And if you notice, all of those notes are in the scale that I played. Like even the bend, every note is in that minor pentatonic scale. And then you can do bends, just 2-note bends within that scale. And those sound good for emphasis. Another common thing that maybe some blues guitarists will do is they'll bend on the 14th fret of the G string. And you can do that with your ring finger or your 2nd finger. And then you'll go on the B and E at the 12th fret. So, and you can do that, and then you can make it a little more complicated. So that is all within that E minor pentatonic scale, and that's all in that one position. So there's tons of things you can do. You just got to play around with the phrasing. And then the cool thing about those positions is because you are bridging the 12th fret, or not really bridging, but you can play each note is along that same fret, the 12th fret. Now if you want to move that to D, let's say the song's in D, the key, all you do is slide down to the D note with your root on the E string. And you can do that same scale in the D. And again, so you figure out the key of the song, then you can put the minor pentatonic in any of those positions where the root note is the key of the song. So if the song's in D, your root note's a D here, so you can play the scale starting here. If it's an E, you can play it at the root note's here on the 12th fret. You can play it starting on the 12th fret. If it's like an F, you can play it at the 1st fret, or you can play it at the 13th fret. So what I like about this is it's super simple. The scale is really easy to memorize, and you can go from like not knowing how to solo at all to just, if you stick within that scale, work on your phrasing, you can play it over any song, any rock song, and it sounds good. So in future lessons, I'll show you how to kind of transition from one position to another. There's ways you can practice your scale to kind of do intermediate and move up and down the whole fretboard, but like you can get away with a lot with just sticking to either that one position or the two positions I showed you in each scale. So that's it for today. Remember to like this video and subscribe on YouTube. I'll be posting new videos every week, and I'll see you guys next time.